Sani mondo wagoye mbaka kaendi koda ka Profesa Eric Osenya kaachiel koda ka Eric Neondo mwalimu mabende duto te gin walimu wadago koda mbaka kaendi kotendo koda ka weche gendi mago mag somo kapok aen keje Profesa weche gendi mago mag siasa kaachiel koda ka gigo bende timore e pacho kaendi. Yienuru mondo akaw thuolo makende ahinya mondo arwak anyiri mwalimu mabende oriwore kodwa okinyi masani endi wang'i weche gendi mago mokwako sekta niendi mano mar somo. Machiegni ahinya mwalimu mondo ikawe thuolo mari makende mondo mi imos janeno mar Kala TV okinyi masani.
Erokamano janeno kendo ago erokamano kuom chope Kala TV ka. An mana go mos leo matin but kura sichopo.
Erokamano. Amor kabisa kuom thuolo mari mabende ikawo mondo ibi mondo wago kodu mbaka okinyi masani endi. Wang'e ni weche gini bago mag somo gi e thuolo masani endi achako kodi mwalimu king'iyo Kenya kaka Kenya ochungi e kinde ni endi somo chalo nade?
Kian
Yes.
kaka kian to okane kober nikech weche moko adek maneno ni one aneno ka sirkal no obedo gi hari ariyo hari kabisa mar ringo gi new curriculum.
Okay.
That's the first one. To then changes masema confuse ji.
Yes.
Then mara adek consultation is very poor.
Yes.
With the jopiny. Koro gik moko adek miyo okane ka somo dhi maber. Kendo I feel ni maybe after 10 years from now we may start to feel impact mar curriculum manitien.
Okay. Professor, kaka bende a lecturer, inyalo wacho kanyere ni education masani endi as compared to machon chalo nade? Piny owacho mana kaka mwalimu yango kanyendi, piny owacho nodwaro ni ahinya kod biro kod new curriculum ni endi kose nade?
Okay. One, king'iyo world over, to the program mabiro mar CBC okay na bad program. But any program ketimo,
Yes.
nyako bede gi gimiluongo ni stakeholders engagement. Nyaka yud opinion mar jopiny. Mana kaka mwalimu ni wacho. Nyaka idhi winji ni to jopiny wacho. They are stakeholders mantie. Nitie professionals, line mar education, nitie parents, nitie even the students, nitie jogo ma ose graduate machiegni, nitie government officers,
Yes.
nitie international educationists manyaka yud opinion margi mondo yud a way minyalo tim godo gini. Kadi no time in a way midware.
Yes.
Okay, gimarach. Tineno ka sani nitie mara gibiro ne mara mathematics should be compulsory, mara it should not be compulsory, mara dividing them into STEM and so on and so forth. That division ok no rach. But I think people's opinion nyaka bed ni oyud maber and proper analysis nyaka tim. King'iyo godo bende gi job opportunities. Education itimo ing'iyo godo gi development.
Yes.
Job opportunities manyalo bedo and so on. And kichak ing'iyo kendo education nitie line mar kwaweyo at lower level, nitie line mar universities ma the funding program inano kose make so many people ok yud the required amount mondo gidhi ang'owa gi proceed gi somo margi.
Yes.
Bilo ka jitieko to onge kaka gidhi. So many people opt to the kata mana tertiary institutions because oneno ka yudo fees bedo a problem. And more particularly wan ka joluo ma yudo ka oaonge gi mewa ahinya. Nitie ji mang'eny ma end up ni ok timang'o ok dhi nyime. And king'iyo the system ibro yudo ka there's so much oketo pesa so much forward and the cost of education is very high, so that some people opt not to take certain courses. The standard anybody moyudo C+ and above and or qualify for university, whether they are private university or they are what is called parallel program or they are the government sponsored the main program to qualify. tiyudo ka many of our people moyudo C+, iyudo kok luong gi ma sirkal tiyudo kok gidhi mondo gisom and because of lack of money. So the sirkal onego ng'i mokwongo line mar pesa nito ere kaka ji nyalo somo, ere kaka ginyalo yudo assistance mondo gitim ang'o mondo gisom. Wan gi so many people especially in Lowland moyudo C+, the mine university minimum requirement to ginyal dhi kuonde moko ma piny manigi mewo to kata ng'ato yudo mana D tibiro yudo ko proceed mobed kata gi PhD. Miyo kanyo onego sirkal ngi the funding system, sirkal onego ngi stakeholders involvement, changing the program and changing it so many times, mana kaka my friend owacho, means ni no kin prepared. Ki change kawuono kinyi chaki change, which means okin prepared. And the cost of it, even in terms of books and the rest, materials, study materials, the preparation mar the teachers themselves. Iyudo ka ok actually well prepared. Iyudo kaka CBC sani, iyudo ka nti what is called junior secondary. Junior secondary, iyudo ka ipuonjo gik moko the sciences, the ipuonjo gi madwaro laboratory. So many schools maonge gi laboratory. Iyo to ipuonjo gi ntie subjects moko nego puonj theoretically. This brings about gimiluongo ni I would say discrimination, but o disadvantage jomoko. Koro joma nyalo tero nyithindgi e skunde mabeyo ma nyathi nyalo dhi gi ne handle test tubes and the rest, deal gi chemicals go, iyudo ka gin better place than ng'ama iwacho ne awacha theoretically. So there's a way monego the system onego bed looked into.
Mwalimu, iwijo kanyendi ka wacho kanyendi kidhi medo gi mano. Okay, maybe let me just give you time on the react watch no asto. Yes.
Now, ingene Eddie.
Yes.
The curriculum uyene ni nyalo review every 5 years. Kata masani wanyalo chako kendo review. And kendo kalore gi lokruok mar ping, it's a very good thing. Because ping change ok kaka chon kaka professor no somo ok jan kaka sani. But mana gima professor wachon, when you are reviewing it, it will be in a positive way. It should be something that it is advantage, it has more advantage than what was there. But margine even the stakeholder Professor Miwacho, everybody have something that he want on this one. Kila ng'ato ni gimoro modware gi. The stakeholder does not ogede kanyo ka gidenea wadwa loso gino bed maber. Mana kaka iwacho ja stakeholder mar the material kaka books will go there with interest ni gini nyaka kala because I have to make what somebody be sirkal gologa pesa mar the stakeholder bit mondo gilos gino. So everybody want to be there. Even there's somebody who can actually not give something that is very good. Koro the end thing is that ne gini nyakango gogo marach because of the personal interest majini go stakeholder ka. And then gini kosa yaka, the person who is actually consuming this thing down here, ngamadi puonjo gini, gi parent magini they affect okchope. The other time kana ngisi ni kane public participation na penji ni ede beninge kata kuma gino ninti. Kadi bedni sani and something political to angisi ni ginyalo bed nyaka kata sande. But this thing was done in Kisumu Hotel.
Yes.
Where now these low people are represented. Ingene ka represent anyalo that I have views gama and personal I feel ni magi can gain. I can gain with them. But the person iparon na se pinjigini. What about jogo kuchungo tend kibuye kache sande? They'll get even the lowest person nige view madware. But now the thing is Kisumu Hotel. Yini Kisumu Hotel ko ngizi ni jomo de Kisumu Hotel ginji adi. Jomo ko be kata ko unjo Kisumu Hotel to ngene is a very expensive place mo kodwa kata de. But when we say this stand has been set in Kibuye, go and give the views about this. Go and give the views about Gimedo Aron.
Yes.
I'm telling you, these things will be very successful. But the stakeholder, yes, they were called. Yes, they were there. They discussed. Onyagobedo nyaka presidential party on these issues. But when they come up with the issues magi discuss magi winjire, tifil gina issues magi okdwa kakendo. Ema pod gi insist on. Like domiciling the junior school with secondary, remaining it in primary, it was a very big issues. At a time, kakasani, the secondary school have free classes.
Yes.
But gidwa gero classes moko, nyocha gigero classes moko kani.
Primary.
secondary schools go
Yes.
nigi laboratory
Mm.
but gigero classes moge primary do
Primary, yes.
maonge laboratory
Mm.
kaka professor wacho ka
Mm.
to kucha space nitie laboratory be nitie.
Okay.
I think this one
Well,
Yes.
matter.
you know.
Yes.
Then after there
Mm.
jogi osebet each and every time is a change. Sani be professor ken CBC NCB it has
Change.
ochako
So,
loke
koro bedo competence based education.
education
Education.
oken be
Curriculum.
JSS and JS junior school onge secondary no kendo no gol
You know, get
aya
yes.
subject ikelo
Yes.
igolo bedo replaced now what they joge transit to
Yeah.
grade 9
Yes. Yes.
are they those teachers in high school are they prepared kose de chalo kaka mar primary kaka netime
Okay.
iluonge aput moro matin
Mm.
imiu some information in 2 weeks time in ka japuonj je primary dhi training for 2 years
Mm.
japuonj secondary dhi 4 years dong tin gini professor bedo train for 2 weeks dhi puonje is it effective?
Professor reactor ne kaka gamose bede fail ni ripe for so long. Training mabede imiyo jopuonje mondo mi ke adopt to the new system. Bedo ga machal nade mamiyo oginyal cope gi that system nyaka gi thuolo masani kech yudo kata ka jopuonje gidi the CBC thing or the CBE now most of them pod ok winji matut ahinya. Yes.
What I know ni at university level to kochuno nyaka ibed a trained teacher mondo idhi puonj e university. To at a lower level starting from PP1, PP2 and so on, it is necessary mondo you'd proper training.
Yes.
It's not just a question of knowledge. An awuon an japuonj.
Yes.
Gik ma nyathi ma PP1 dhi puonjore ang'eyogi nikech ok anyal kia and I think every parent ong'eyo, most of the parents ong'eyo, but nitie kaka ibedo trained mondo i adopt to that. The training is required. Emomiyo it's not for nothing ni kawo jopuonj itero for 2 years. Iterogi for 2 years ka giseyudo the required qualification mondo gibed qualified as teachers. To my iyudo kok tim kata kane ok 2 years ok nyalo nikech gisebedo trained as teachers.
Yes.
To nego ne migi a reasonable period obede kata mana 3-6 months
Yes.
ma gi adopt godo kata 2 months ma gi adopt godo to the new system. The training is inadequate and more inadequate I say is, as I said earlier, is the materials. More inadequate is the actually what they are going to handle as their name. Just like my friend has said, I don't know now how would you actually compare students many local schools, primary, my issue of laboratory, issue of other things have not been there, and give the team of the same examination. Those ones in town where laboratory and
And
all the
everything
necessary
is
equipments are there. Isn't it bringing inequality? I think education onego bed equalizer and ji onego learn the same things and ji onego make equal opportunity. Kata ka ok en equal, they onego watem nwa bring equality. To ka equality no is not there,
Yes.
then I think there is a problem.
Maybe if I engage mwalimu mana gimi winjo kiwacho kanyendi there is no equal opportunities ne nyithindo tedonge nikech kuonde moko tigi everything kuonde moko onge godo. Un kaka joma bede stakeholder meetings mago bag education, what have you been doing marna no guide the government?
You see, this thing is something manochakore long time. I would say ni from the university man more conversant with. Mokwongo, serikal, not even this Kenya Kwanza's government.
Yes.
I think it was serikal mar Uhuru, the Jubilee government.
Okay.
The Jubilee, whatever, TNA and Nick government. Mokwongo, ngama no kelo ketho ginani kato bedo applauded and the so-called Fred Matiang'i. Because Gine manegi biro gi system ma negi ketho what is happening in public universities.
Okay.
Gik mane timore public universities, there was, I think, some common interest magichako many of the funding gichako timo to private universities. So the private universities were found to be more moneyed. Apart from the money magin go serikal benemi yogi money. Then serikal ne sponsor students maneni tiekuno. Instead of serikal sponsor students mani public universities, mondo mi the public universities power, they decided magi draw koro nyithindo ne there was very little manimio public universities and emio private universities bende, like Mount Kenya, Catholic University and so on. So kanyo ero notimango okelo a lot of inequality, and it was a government policy. And when these people come up with government policies,
yes,
kata kori pengi tomani magini. In fact, that is one moketo university education at higher level.
Okay.
Kibiro at lower level kai tokoro this idea mar CBC ni bendo chako medoke.
Mwalimu huyu kuyu akahinye which ma capitation fees ni it has been a problem, but kiwijo ka chiel kod resources mabenda wijo ka prof ywa kanyo indini iyudo ka resources, especially the learning materials, wamed nyaka bende the manpower magin jopuonje pod tin nyaka gi thul masani ende. En jatend piny Kenya kane loso chieng Labor Day nowacho kanyo indini osendik jopuonje ma namba moro maber, kendo bende pod gin gi paro ma bende bar diko. Magi gina declarations moko bende timatima mar ni mondo japinyo consume, because there are some maybe sureties moko ni ginyalo bedo adier. Ende nyalo wacho ang'o weche mago mag capitation fee?
Edin nangise ni capitation fee and watch mateka ahinya. I'm from private sector, but most of the head teachers are my friends.
Yes.
Nadwa winje kata maleng ni jogi owacho ni gidhiloro skunde. I don't know, after 3 weeks or 1 month.
Yeah, yes, kalore
gi capitation.
Yes.
The truth of the matter, the public primary school and even school are suffering. Because kangato wacho ni akelo million apar. To in ngama ni a field, onge. At the same time, this person does not want you to tax any parent. How do I tell them? Onge school. Actually, Angi said, run a school without money is a disaster. Is a disaster. Chal kanga mo send you into the war without ammunition. There's nothing you can deliver. Tokada jopunje me wachogi. I just want you to do a survey. As a media house, you can do a survey and find out how many teachers in junior school. Junior school, you may get, I know a particular school which has a junior school with about 600 learners, but with 4 teachers. 4 teachers. They now task the head teacher, they give the head teacher a very hard time, because the head teacher now is being asked to convince these primary teachers to assist the other side.
Yes.
I seen that one. Now, first of all, as a government, we have refused that junior school will be taught with only people who have gone through a secondary system, which is degree and above. But again, they are gikelo ni jedi angwen. As to gingi sini kaka in head teacher, chaki convince jo primary gi. Muno kidwaka. Odio kocha. Then jogi be feel no say wachi no wa kwanyal. Ango mwade timo kocha. I think that how they are also putting the teachers in a very difficult situation. Nikechi ose kweri no kenyal, at the same time idwari kunu. We ask them,
yes,
nitie jopuonje mang'eny e primary ka motimo diploma, motimo degree, but they had C plain. Why can't we allow them to join the other side? Why can't we employ them to teach the other side? To gik mipuonjo kachaka, actually, you know, a primary teacher go to a very serious training. And I am not shy to say this one compared to the one of secondary. Because this person is ipuonjo subject te.
Yes.
Ipuonjo subject te. Ma I'm telling you, a primary teacher kikele ka editing isene adoni di puonjo atne. Miyema 2 days to about the class and trubu puonjo about the labor. I think that one. It's not somebody who is restricted. Okomi line achini nyaka titima timama. But guru niya situation edi mo kelja art professor kelja art school to kelja English literature. To ochako okelja ngamoti mystery gi Kiswahili. Kodo ngin angwen. To ntie digi itimo ka science, itimo ka agriculture. To dwano puonj gigi.
problem nyaka bedi.
That's why if you go to this school, you discover that some of the subject has not been taught the whole term. Okupuonji subject.
Mwalimu kapo biro ir prof, the whole term nyalo bedo ka poko puonje a particular subject.
Yes,
nikech manpower magin jopuonje.
Manpower onge to bo specification because this person puonjo art, kata wacho history Kiswahili.
Yes.
Pok no puonjo ga science.
Okay. So Kenya Kwanza government bino ko deliver e weche mago mag somo to the fullest
unless they change.
With two
First of all, the change is this.
Yes.
Accept the mistake. Accept nintie chochni moko diere ka, and then start to correct that one. But when kwase bedo gigima kwa mbele gigima government negago pay nini, even if it's bad will force through your throat bodonje then some things are not going to work because gimatim resan the truth of the matter kiti matima survey maber.
Yes.
Even the teachers who are teaching this thing, they don't like this thing, but because the government have decided that is money gima debate.
Koke dwa tewe.
Tewe. Money gima angitim ya tem.
Kero kamano. Prof, yena mone react. Kenya Kwanza government with the promises on education, are they delivering? So there is no delivery, and do you think with the 2.5 years left, give the deliver many thing of the better or the quality education services?
Okay, one, Kenya Kwanza government is only 2.5 years old.
Yes.
Some of the things I've raised were things that happened in other governments. Even the start of this CBC, now Chakware, earlier. Yeah. Ma is not Kenya Kwanza. Kenya Kwanza, you're on the way. The way.
Yes.
Or you're the messes which were there and trying to correct the messes. Sometimes correcting the messes when they have already happened is an uphill task. We have to agree, and Mwalimu has to agree with me that during the 2.5 years, a large number of teachers have been engaged.
In fact, that is an area that with this government, they have tried, and again they are going to employ.
Okay.
But you see the increase of the numbers of the learners, the numbers also increasing.
Okay.
There are problems here and there, but they've done what is actually what has been something commendable, because when Kenya Kwanza came to power, the number of teachers was actually so small. In fact, it is expected that the ratio of teacher to students should be around 1 to 40 in primary schools, 1 to 30 in secondary schools. That is what actually is expected. But though the ideal situation should be 1 to 20. You see?
So the policy says NEET should be 1 to 30, maybe schools,
yes. But now, what actually happens is that we find cases of 1 to 80 or even 1 to 100 or more. When he says there are how many 4 teachers with
600.
With 600, that's 1 to 150. You cannot effectively engage the kids. How would you be knowing 150? You are in a class, you know them, because you should know these people by names. Inge their capabilities. You know, the first thing Kenya Kwanza timo, any Mondowa bring in more teachers. And that one, I think Mwalimu here will agree with me. Ni mano togeti mangoa gitem. It's only that ni poge correct all the situations kakati mangoa kakadwaro. So my problem mobedo inherited. Problem ni uyude from the time of Jubilee. Kenya longinyo the number of teachers manobedo employed during Jubilee time, and the number of teachers mobedo employed during Ruto's time is in fact a large number of Sebedo employed. But there's still a lot to be done. We have not reached there. What is now worrying, even the issue manowachomar messing the universities.
Yes.
Now Chakore during Uru's time. You see? And even other issues, you look at the only thing is when Kenya Kwanza biro power to giyudo messes nitie. Koro is like knee-jerk kind of activity, trying to do this, trying this, and which has not actually worked well, but they've tried within the short time of 2 years, and having the ratio of teachers to students has really reduced.
Okay. Mwalimu, king'iyo kanyindi somo masani endi, iyudo ka iwacho kanyini the government dwa hire ahinya keto gini endi nikech preparations ma proper ne pod onge. And gi thuolo masani endi bende giwacho ni they are doing a lot mar neno ni nyithindo gi yudo somo. Wantiere kanyindi koda ka pathways mbende sani koro ne kao sani endi I mean this second term. And there are issues mabende nitiere mayudo ka samoro nyathi nyalo bedo placed a wrong pathway nikech ing'eni the actual thing ma samoro nyathi timo opogore gi mbede samoro japuonj nyalo monetae ni obere gima kama. For example, samoro nyathi nyalo bedo no kadho the subject manyalo place to gima kama, but en kipache all gima kama. Are there consultations mabende utim with the parents and nyathi himself or herself mar ng'enea to mopogore kod performance mare classwork, what other else mabende onyalo timo ber kata maen ogo mondo miyo odhi mondo umany the right pathway to ket nyathini?
Eddie, some time back I told you one thing. Talent malngat is not easy thing. Make imitation. For example, if you go outside here, everybody want to be a musician. Everybody want to be a content creator. I think that one. So when you talk about talent, it's not an easy thing the way people think. And there are going to be so many people are going to place in a wrong pathway. Because wasene no kata page outcome mar page mar grade 6 capshare.
Yes.
Kipuonjo mtendo we class as a teacher be itimo some assessments. Inyalo discover the professor is better than AD. Ngane is gima ogedwacha, but you can decide. But when the result come, actually it's very difficult to understand what is taking place. Professor mnina no kubere chagi inyalo do kata kuro ka AD emeneber kuro we don't know what will happen there because kikao giniti iduo ke 844 be discover do better ni AD mneber cha do bedo maber kuro we don't know what is happening here dongina no ki with that kind of result you may end up placing AD in STEM instead of art. I think this one Koro, it's not going to be an easy thing. The consultation are there. They're trying to come up with the mean of placements. But I'm telling you, it's going to be a very big mess.
Okay.
It's unless unless the NEC is coming up with something else that will be used to place these learners in different areas without causing a confusion. But as you know, the government will always not accept confusion. And I've given you a scenario. A scenario during 844 system. 2 scenarios where at a time the result came, the paper that came, everybody knew this paper, it's above these learners and things are not going to happen well. But that paper is the one that learners passed highly. Highly. So the most probably the wrong placing for the first year, the second year, as they usually say, podwa organize gik moko but the iga mokwongo mara dek nyaka iboyudo ka placement otimre marach to pod gibo wacho ni we are still organizing things. Placement ok bedo mayot nikech mana gima ng'isi no.
Yes.
Today if you look at the learners today, learners masano have more talent than even some.
Yes. Okay.
So some of them it's not natural talent but it's imitation.
Good. Let me engage Prof. Prof, kopone we are going to have wrong placement mago pathways. Are we going to get other professors coming years in the coming years?
Okay. And what I can say is that my personal opinion is that specialization onego way too late. An educated person ngato modhi school onego bed first of all a generalist. Unbed get the general knowledge.
Yes.
Kese bedo with the general knowledge to later specialize. Ineno kata mana doctors. Ki wacho ni doctors chako specialize from the time they join the university. You will not have the general doctors. Every doctor first of all specialist.
Yes.
they are first and foremost general doctors, general physicians. Ma onyalo handle any basic medical issue. Koro later, makoro they timo say masters. Eka koro they specialize gynecologists, radiologists, and so on and so forth. And that, in my opinion, en yo maber. Nyako bed waonge gi inema idwa keto ni ng'ani okawa a narrow field. Yani okawa mathematics mane gine mare. Kipenje penjo mag history gine mano okeria na.
And that's what they do.
Kipenje anything about kata kakidwa tim, nyalo ni gadgets in the house. Aningeni ano kana scientist, ana historian.
Yes.
Is a mano mar jo STEM. So gimonego kwongo tim.
Yes.
A good system onego bedni produce people first of all give the general knowledge as an educated person. Even the job market dwaro ni ji obed generalist first. Even obed all round mokwongo kapok itimo ang'o kapok idhi ni specialized nikech there are so many things akoro wang'i dwaro ni mondo sama koro tich tin tibro yud ni okwan mana gi ng'ate ane ni area cha to koro mano kende monyalo maka ji onge to moko en koro ling'o rito mondo specialization bende over specialization nigi problems mage.
So ober to ndise chemo bere.
Onego time later
at a higher level.
At a higher level. Okonego bedni ichake ali mekipenyo ng'ato to koni ni ating'eni manok area na. You see? Somebody is educated. And that's how it happens even in other countries. Somebody may uneducated, onego bedni ong'eyo certain things.
Yes. Yes.
Onyalo advise in a broad spectrum, in broad areas. I always tell the students, education means the understanding, the knowledge to tackle issues. Because then you come here, there's nobody who will teach you kaki putimo burial. So you don't have burial problems. Nitie tipo nini ne medisi cool. Advice wakai.
Yes.
Winjo.
Okay, kami puonje.
But the general knowledge my God. Kaka itimo katibed ni ne an engineer, the general idea mar management, managing issues, managing people is actually important. I'll give you another example. We say, in fact, in human resource management, it's said, every manager is a human resource manager. In the sense, in an engineer, okibiwachoka issues obiro mag managing the people under you. You are the one in charge of the department.
Yes.
Okinyalo wacho ni ingeni mano is human resource area okanya. Kada is in discipline. Yes. You must know the basics of managing the people. Mondo ineni koro etimangoa handle gi. It is staff role as a human me handle staff. It is the general role. Koro nyakibed ni ka ina human resource manager, for example, to inyalo dikata kama intiene. You have to be, you are a human resource manager in your own way. You have got basics of how to deal with the people who are under you. Okay, that's human resource issue. Wamanya ne human resource specialist, MOBO handler. So employees and students onego bedni ipuonjogi generally. Specialization, in other words, onego come later, not at early stage. It will make our people in a way more ginyal handle broad the broad spectrum of jobs.
Okay, so it means ne prof ne kopone wadwa dhi ne nyathi dwa kao pathway gi sane wadwa kete kata nice time kata anything whichever pathway modhi kao to kwadhi bedo gi quality people mbele kaidi.
If you ask me, that is not the way to go. My personal opinion, that is not the way to go. The way to go, these people should be trained as an educated person on a debate, first of all round. Before you go into before you be into your area of specialization, on a debate, behave, actually understanding of the issues, understanding of even your country, understanding of the economy. You can't tell us, me, I'm a physicist, or me, I'm a medic. Issues to do with the economy, mano to kadonje. Mago manyuru joma economists. You see, nyaka puonji general economics, nyaka puonji other business related subjects. After all, even inyalo venture into business on your own and ibedo an employer. At that time, ingi actually nyakibed gi some business idea. Kaka ngamodhi sikul, maka kori bedo employer, tinyalo ensure ni indiko ji to kambi ni bedhe maber. Kambi wang no dhi maber nadim ka ine mok understand business. How will you be an employer? To employer ni midwa ni ji mondo obed self-employed and ji mondo obed employers. Mondo gi employ jomoko. So which means businesses ma ji ochako, many of them will fall. And rate of unemployment will be malo.
So ichako business but we are personally
understand inge mana an gima ngeyo area na an engineer. Angeyo mana engineer.
Make kanyo pro. Bro.
Kata balance sheet okinyal timo mar company. Kata mana ngiyo the nitty gritty mar debit and credit in accounting. Mano debit chadena ngoto credit and mago ok ginena. Nito taxes or nito wajine chalo nade. Ere kaka tax affect wa.
Nyakibedi ngati man ki general knowledge. Mwalimu na uchako tamtu. And it's running very fast. Tidoka sani mabende hiccups punitire sector mar education. Ada ni mondo me watakla ne wach mano mar mathematics to be compulsory, not to be compulsory, onyalo bero ne, inyalo kawe kihero, ko kihero, inyalo wacha ngo kwan. Wagike a point makuru these subjects and inyalo timo kihero.
Edimana is a very dangerous thought. Kendo ngama no biro ga idea no.
In fact, head of NEC, I'm just forgetting his name, no wacho ni mathematics osayo nyithindo seriously. In the past, osayo nyithindo seriously.
Edi ngene wan kunwa de kaka ndalo nwatimo P1 kapoka de timo my degree. Kata ne ido math it na ide timo P1. But you must have some basics of math. Kata ngamo ido math e. okno kia kwan o commit mana threshold marido ginenecha because kata bed no kech ma ichako gi 20 oido 20 koro threshold mar wuoke icha emo ko yudo lakini
you
know some mathematics but assume ni koro onge completely onge
puonji kwan
we are going to have a very terrible situation.
And when you look at many learners, kwane chalka gi mo gidwara hinya. So kakoro dhi okedi in kompa ni ni an optional.
Ni nangis in some time the children's right is a very good idea. But it's also causing a lot of problem everywhere. You have seen a situation where katanya theo direct no me homework. Have you adu no saldu kaina go. No me professor no me kwana ngwano time. To feel need these things technical base but there and the human right will say that one on a in fact anyisi gi do you know as per now inyisi ni kedo kanya thio ninde class nindo ke okone gi keth na nindo nano because ine metage o John and it's a right it's a right nyathino nego dum kamano koro there is a time na ngisi kwano kunego bedni it is something kwano is something like it's a daily thing kila ngato nego onge kwan koro okonego bedni obedo no can compulsory ni it's optional itime kihero kata kidwa you do does not mean zero kwan you had something mnoko chopo threshold mar goli icha
but at least in the idea
I'm telling you kata kelo mno ido he has a formula kata kingeni dwaro length marka ten gi formula moro manyalo
la musomo mogi nyaka form 4 for example okibikonia no rom gi ngama no ko nyono school odhi orem kabisa to nyaka benini tie gi mongeyo this year moko rom gi ngama no odhi kata class achiel
professor adongi sedi kama carpenter inyalo carpenter mnodo math kata mnodo math let's say like that but je ichunge somo foot onge somo foot but foot no dongeni puonje school foot no ben mana kwano iparo na
ne convert centimeters into
kwano noido decimeters kwano noido but wanyalo convert mano bolos
mo into meters
bolos gino maber koro in a situation makoro onge
ok wadhi bedo gi dhano mbele ka.
Ok wadhi bedo gi dhano mbele ka. Then Eddie, gimoro mnadwa wacho.
Okay.
Ka curriculum no nichako gi accuse, which may be true or it's true in some areas, ni 844 seriously oriented, exam oriented kabisa. And therefore they wanted something that go in a practical way, and they were giving a very funny, kena nyathi moro nowuok odhi kanye, could not even make a button mar lawe. So you see nyithindo gi they're not more practical skill. I want to give you example. Maskunde kaka me town ko. Are you sure they're doing those practical? Kata wachi kata mara agriculture. Are you sure they're doing that type of
No.
Do you know even some school professor, the gardener on deck, maken puro, tene modio puro bokom. Ti simagi, magi grade.
Unebo be kata puodho ne
maonge.
Yes.
Aya. In Eddie nyathini ka kia twengo, you do accuse the school or you? Kia twango baton mar lao.
No, it's me.
It is you.
Yeah, nikech number one, ane manyathino wuok kaendi ka ok oloso nangane. Anene. Tawa ntizi moko nyaka yo jopur. Yes.
Koro these things nitie gik mipuonjo dala as a parent inyalo put your a child into order. Ma japuonje manyalo mana reinforce at a certain level. You know. But then the issue, do you know like kata sama ni iwacho ni logo curriculum gin be the same people stakeholders ka em no go practical subject, you remember? They're overburdening. To chako kend gi timetable, but they're not examinable. Koro in para ni puonjo kwano to chako mi professor art. Ni professor will also be teaching art. Tinge mabene art to kubo bed examinable to kwano what will you do?
Time
transfer kosokon, you know. So the 844 had those practical skills and better one. Manigi bed exam be ngato nonge kata ininge edi ndalo machine kucha ni, they'll come to assess. No utwango carpet. No utwanga ngocha. They assess and be ingisini this one will take 30% of your
results.
Sani kata kama wacho practical. It is not there. Look at the books that were there. They are not something. I'm also accusing of this. Things are not consistent. Somo about the plant. Ni chako parts of the plant. The green plant.
It was flowing.
About human body. Ichako had a breathing system, digestive system. But Sani, you'll get something about the teeth. Grade 4. Ichaki 7. There's no consistency on what is being happening. There's no consistency.
I don't know kasaringo matek mwalimu wadwa tieko this discussion mano mar education. But let me engage professor on just what you are saying. Watch mano mar kwano being optional subject. Kech sani kuro no se nche dwa no gole completely to gicha giduni kuro bed gimoro ma is optional. And mana kaka as site ni when we look at most of the learners kwano ni ogidwar ahinya. Akeni nga it's too engaging. Akeni ni understanding gematek. Prof, when it's now an optional subject, it means ni wadhi bedo kod gima onge dhano ma onge nikech koro kanyal kata mana ng'eyo ni kalama mako nango tanyalo ndiko nango nikech mathematics it's a lot. But can the government redeem themselves? Mangini, what can we do about this? Mondo wabed gi good products.
Well, kiwacho ni kwano onge, to opani joma wacho gino okayie kodgi ahinya.
So good.
Nikech kwano has got a lot to do even in areas.
Yes.
Even in areas of history. Even in areas of other things, geography and so on, nyakinge kwano somehow. Kidhi into higher learning, and I want to say it here without fear of contradiction. There is no way ma ngato nyalo bedo ni time research maber, and I repeat, onge way minyalo time research maber ka ok in gi some understanding mar kwano. Let them challenge me. Ni, how would you determine? Erika kibro determine itimo research. Research, there is an aspect of it belongo ni methodology. This methodology would also require kwano. For example,
Yes.
idwa determine ni wadwa carry HIV drug on people. See? Jo Kenya. But because okwanyal time on everybody, nikech kadiponi drug no turn out to be bad,
Yes.
so everybody will have been affected. Or wadwa timo something about fish in Lake Victoria. Okwanyal dhima correct te.
Counting.
Ma mondo wa count gi, mondo watim ni the characteristics mano wadwaro en ma. Iwinjo? Kwadwa test kata kongo ni kongo ni good. Okwanyal dhi kao Kenya ma kongo te man Kenya breweries to wa test ni kongo ni te is good. Wakao gimiluongo ni sample.
Yes.
To sample ni nitie in research gimiluongo ni nyaki determine the correct sample amount. Iwinjo? The correct quantity. Iluonge ni sample size. Nyaki yud the size mabro miyowa results ma would be almost the same as result kan watimo gi chacha te.
Yes.
What bureau decided on in terms of level of confidence at maybe 95, we are 95, 190%, 95% sure, kada 99 for in things like medicine, we don't be 99% sure. Nigi mitimoni. Jo mikao gi abich mitimo gine onni.
Yes.
Or ji 100, or ji 200 mitimo gi. Results mawuok is almost equivalent
To what would have gotten.
kani kao jogi te kata kani kao the whole world. Iwinjo?
Yes.
So mano nyaki determine scientifically. Nyaki use some mathematics to determine what is the correct sample size.
Good.
Onge kaka nyalo determine correct sample size mokitiyo gi some mathematics.
Mabendo figures go bende dhibedo in
Figures go nyaka bedi.
Yes.
Nyaki the what ni gine to what percentage? What's the level of confidence? What is the significance? And so on. Significance, level of confidence. Nyaki watch mago. So these are mathematical. You see? And we meet students like when they go to class, you teach people research methods. Nyaki engage. I've taught them this. Nyaki engage them in mathematics. A historian, or Jalo, madwa carry out research beyond first degree, madwa the timo masters, madwa the timo PhD and so on, madwa the timo research. Ere kako bro they determine these things ka kwano no kia no way primary. Gig me the timo go they understand now. Let these people tell us.
Okay.
It's not possible. Or impossible mondi you'd a highly learned person ma onge gi some basic understanding of mathematics. Ere kako further education mare, ere kako at higher level we expect people to do research to improve society. How did they do any research person to tell us ni ere kako nyalo timo research moko engage some element of mathematics that obey historian that obey dango. Ere kako timo the methodology, ere kako timo the sample, you know the sample size. Namondi or that sample size. Unless it's cooking, you actually sound now is digital, you just press and come. Do you understand? Give me press no. And why are you?
And the moment we say what you got near 99%, the figure 99, money is mathematics.
Don't you determine the 99%? One calculation, maybe decide you got to 99%. We know now the actual figure of the persons, the elongated population size.
Okay.
We are going to have a general one before we specify.
Yes.
They're going to do a general man.
Yes.
But you see, when you are given such a thing,
Yes.
automatically these people are not going to take it very serious.
Exactly, yes.
You know, when we are in school, everybody was avoiding maybe to get math in. I should not get it. So he'll try and work hard on it. But when we are given something just general, professor, possibility mar general no, the exam is very high.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to tell you, Nani. I've had, personally, I've had this Ninimar Asni, where Sabidokai Punyo students. We force students to understand this element. You get the point? For students to understand this element. Maybe only some students, but wangeni is good for them.
Good.
My bro, you look at class, so many people, but they'll work until they know. Katamore they understand some basic mathematics to do what is required.
It's a good discussion we should be continuing with, but adwa release mwalimu ito mundu wangene weche bamauko mag politics mokadwa engage mwalimu being a teacher. You know what yes, but I think we are going to organize for another time.
Yes.
Mundu wangene ito effects mag gini ndi prof dhibid machalna de ginyithiro in the next 10 years or in 10 years coming or 20 wadhibedo gi a generation machal nade, wadhi bedo gi a community machal nade, ma koponi gigi endi nyalo beda optional kaka wadhi niendi en kaka system mano mar education chalo niendi be wadhi bedo gi the right people in a society. Yen wadwa losa another time mondo wabwa bedo ka wa engage specifically on education. Mwalimu wachimuti mugik ka wanyalo tieko weche mag education.
Gima anyalo wacho ni akwayo parents they should be very sensitive. Yes. And may engage ni watch somo mag nyithindgi, because with the government ing'eni at a time Professor Ngema after independent ing'eni they were only you have to know how to write and simple arithmetic. Don't Professor Dewena Kamana. I think that's where we are heading to.
Yes.
Simple arithmetic and illiteracy. I think that's where we are heading, because King Yogik Matim Resani, I'm telling you that our education system is rotten. But because there's some people who have been taken to be more important, they make decisions somewhere, and those decisions has been their directive. They're not something to be compromised of.
Good.
But the effect is going to be seen ahead. Koro, the parents nyakubidi engage somo mar nyathine to make sure ni nyathine is at the right place. Okay. Because it's becoming very dangerous at a time.
Thank you.
Most of the apparently send reports mokomogol ni a good number of learners okunyal kata somo okia somo and they have almost exiting the system okia somo a good number more compare kata the 8 for future.
How I wish in next week unyalo bedo gi space gi prof dewa chakwa ng'ie kanyo endi nikech iyudo ka usawa gi these institutions osegolo ga report ne nyithindo mang'eny ok nyal somo and dewa ng'e maendi kelo ang'o makelo magi endi. So maybe we'll organize another thing another time mondo bwang'e wa prof giminyalo wacho ka watieke sector mano mar education.
Okay, watieke sector mar education.
Yes.
One, in conclusion, Amnyalo commend Serikal,
yes,
the Kenya Kwanza government for neno nigi indiko jopuonje mang'eny.
Good.
But they've done that. Tomano will say it's not enough. Let them go ahead and reform other parts. Let there be not a shallow but a real consultative approach. Let them engage a large number of people. Let them give it time.
Yes.
Mondo, ji otimango or come up with ideas. Let it not be just boardroom affair. Maji moko bedo hold themselves somewhere to gibiro negine magi. Make that decision.
Yes.
Let there be better engagement. As far as mathematics need to be compulsory as a person, I don't think it's a good idea. The people came with that, but they should rethink
Yes.
of their decision and think of other the way Mubra affect other things. Specialization should be left at a later date, and the government should actually rethink and see how all this done, and then equitably these resources will be distributed equitably. And lastly, this idea marway, I don't think it was a right idea. Marwayo keto junior secondary in primary schools,
yes,
or disadvantage jimangeni ke jomani rural schools ma ok nyal access the facilities yudo kobedo disadvantage. The rural, I think there are some people who had their interests, but the rural, the junior secondary should have been in secondary schools or with some liaison, so that more particularly gibedo in access to one, the materials. Secondary schools are more equipped with even books. 2, gibedo in access to other materials like laboratories. 3, gibedo iginegi teachers ma actually will handle those laboratory kind of things, not to tell you point for 2 weeks and you expect kwani gin machines.
Kero kaparo Prof kumala srimagi mwalimu inauru mono next time mondo wachako gomba kaka endi weche gin mag somo. Adwa ni mondo release mwalimu kanyo endi mondo dhiyo ayeto wadonga nege Prof weche moko ka endi mondo wagomba ka gon wero kamano kum thuolo mokao, but we'll coordinate and organize another meeting mondo wangiuru effects mago mag somo masani endi to the society e kinde mabende biro. Nyakoro mga jwang wagomba ka endi koda ka Professor Osenya ka achiel koda ka mwalimu Neondo maduto wagomba ka weche gin mago mag somo.